All right, people, welcome to week 10. So I just want to take a moment just to say this. 10 weeks, right? You've devoted yourself to this process for 10 weeks. So I just want you for a minute to really sit here, get present, and think about all that you have incurred, all that you've taken care of, all that you've progressed in, everything that you've done in the past 10 weeks, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter what, even if you didn't do a lot of work, you're definitely not the same person you were 10 weeks ago. And, with that being said, we're on the very tail end, right? So we've mastered body, we've mastered mind. We have stepped into a new realm of spirituality that's so deep and so vivid. So really for a moment, just sit and really progress into your brain, really input that, what you have done in 10 weeks, because what you've done in 10 weeks sometimes takes people years, right? And as much as I can give you the spiritual guidance, it really is you guys doing it and you guys staying dedicated and staying with it and not giving up at any end. So I just want you to have that moment and really be proud and really acknowledge who you are, who you were 10 weeks ago, and I hope you have this exciting feeling for who you're going to be in the next couple weeks. So with that being said, this is really plan of action. This is what I call your preparation stage before I send you off. And so this week, I asked you guys all to send me your fears, right? The fears that you just want to let go, or the limiting beliefs, and you guys all, privately sent me them. And so I wanted to go through some of the fears, and I'm not naming names. I'm just going through what was sent to me, and I want to show you guys how to break them down. And what I'm going to do is actually send you guys a sheet. And in that sheet, you will see how they're broken down. So I'm going to actually pull up the sheet and sort of cover what that sheet looks like, right? Because this is what I call your goal and intention one. So, right, goals and intentions. What personal goals you want to accomplish, and, how are you going to use this program? How are you going to leave this space and use this? And what are the goals that you're going to be accomplishing, right? So I just worked with a client and she just did this one. The overall goal, not necessarily the little nicks, not necessarily oh, I got the career and da-da-da. It's really the overall goal from your future self. And when you look at that, right, it's, hers was yesterday. I finished a first half marathon. I have extra time to be filling out the jobs applications that I want to work on in Spain. I have the freedom for my job. I have the mobility to move abroad. I have creative freedom. I can use my free time to go free diving, da-da-da-da. Now, when you hear that, it sounds like she's manifesting a lot of, job, accomplishment, da-da-da. No. In every single part of what she explained was actually freedom. So when you take it out, I really want you guys to sit here and really dive into this practice. What is my overall goal, right? I'm going to send you guys this to fill out, and you can always share it with me, of course. And keep this, because it's a really, really magical practice. And then weeks come down the road and you're like, oh my God, that thing I wrote a few weeks ago, it totally happened. And, so really what she was saying within all of that description was freedom, right? That's what she's manifesting, is freedom. And so, and I said to her, what is your definition of freedom? So when you realize, oh, okay, I'm just manifesting freedom, or I'm manifesting success, or I'm manifesting, love, or whatever it is. When you then do that in this next step, I want you then to sit there and say, okay, well, what is freedom? What is freedom? What is freedom to you? You really need to understand what that is, because, we tend to think, freedom is in things, it's in people, it's in places. But then we rarely think about, oh my God, maybe I don't even know what freedom is. Think about that. We don't know what freedom is. We're told what freedom is, and that's usually, that is the work of society telling us what freedom is. And half of the time, the freedom that we're looking for does not rest in what we are being told it is in, right? The job that keeps you restrained from living your soul's purpose, it's not freedom. But we're told it's freedom because there's some kind of salary that's going to gift us freedom, right? Or that we're going to feel the, success and freedom when we have the house and we have the car and we have this and we have that and we have this and we have that. When in all reality, those things are just holding you. You're then becoming attached, and that's not freedom. And so really sit here, and after you write what your overall goal is, like within your future self, and really write out that paragraph, then go into it next. And I want you to go into, once you pull out the actual emotion you're trying to manifest, what is that emotion, right? If it's love, what is love to you? Sit there and answer that. Then, right? And it might not be emotion, it might be like desire, right? It could just be like when you read it, you're like, oh, I really just want an all new career. Might not be an emotion. Next, you're going to see this little chart that I make where it's the goal, achieved by, the notes, and status. And so on this chart, right, you're going to rate the goal, whatever it is. And I want you not just to like write it in. And if you guys want to send me this and tell me like, hey, can you look this over? I might critique it and just answer questions. Like, for example, the last one she was really struggling with, and she said something along the lines of like not limiting herself to fit into her surroundings, living authenticity, And I was like, well, you're already doing that. So what else is it? And I was like, is there a chance that it could be that you're not living your soul's purpose? She was like, yeah, I think that's it. So I want you to really sit here and make it a lot deeper than you think, right? And so the achieve by, I do that because I want you to be able to sit there and really put a date to it. And so that could be like, okay, I have a goal of gaining 3 more clients, right? Let's say I make that goal for 2 months from now. In 2 months, I'm going to have 3 more clients. That's a reasonable goal, right? Or like she has a half marathon on here. So like the date of her half marathon is going to be her achieve by date, and then in the notes, what I want you to write in the notes is, what would it be like if I accomplish this, right? So like the half marathon she's talking about, the feeling would be connection to her body, disillusion to any limitation, right? So she's feeling full capability. You're going to write the goal, and you can make it detailed, the goal, achieved by, what does it feel like when you already have that? And then you're going to see I have a status, right? So if you feel like this is something you're already working on, you could put in progress. If you feel like you haven't even touched the surface, just put not started. It's funny because sometimes you do these and then you write it out and you're like, I already achieved this. So there is the accomplish option. So you're going to fully do this. And then I have it where I quoted it above, divine order, place yourself in my blank to show me my freedom. What that is going to do is I hope now you learned from the full moon that the best manifestations only come from when you surrender control, right? So when you have absolutely zero, no control whatsoever. So when you say divine order, place yourself into my career, place yourself into my soul's purpose, whatever it is, to show me the emotion you want so bad. Okay, so for example, divine order, place yourself into my soul's purpose to show me freedom. Or it could be divine order, place yourself into my life to show me freedom, right? Maybe you don't even know what it is you really want or whatever. You're going to recite that every single day, and I want you to see what happens in 2 weeks because it's going to be a really divine, magical experience. It's going to test you though, right? So it's going to say, well, you keep telling me you want this, but I know the freedom isn't in there, so I'm going to keep giving you, little synchronicities to show you it's not what you want. So I want you guys to fill out my little worksheet. It is, it's really fun. And it's a really good experience to actually sit here and do this and go beyond just the level. My dog, right? My guru, testing my patience at all times. So I really want you guys to sit there and really practice this worksheet because this worksheet is really liberating and it really will make you sit there when you have to like write this out and express this. It's really going to sit there and make you think. And so do the worksheet, right? Now let's talk about the fears. I'm warning you guys, this video is going to be a little bit longer. I know like I've been trying to push that these videos aren't so long because I want you guys to have plenty of time to do the other things. So let's go through the first 3. Let go of what others think of me. I think it's a lot more than I should, or I think of this a lot more than I should, taking a lot of criticism lately. Fear of failure is so present now that I'm in a new job and they have set me up for success as I see it. 3, I want to manifest calmness. My anxiety has been through the roof. My schedule with how my husband works and what my kids is absolutely exhausting. I want to feel relaxed. Okay. So there's this, right? What is beneath all three of those? Okay. So we want to let go of what people think of us. We want this fear of failure in our new jobs to go away, and we want to manifest calmness. What is underneath all three of those, right? What's the one emotion? Like, put yourself in these shoes. What is the one emotion that if you conquered these three, what would you have? You would have serenity. You would have serenity to, accept people, places, things, right? Serenity would give you the ability to not care what people think, accept it, right? Step within your authenticity and not care what other people think and not be stuck, right? Because what happens is when we're thinking about what other people think of us, what happens is we're playing that script, we're sitting in our own chaos and we're sitting in our own madness, and they're not even thinking of you. That's the crazy part, is they're not even thinking of you. And then on top of it, to make it all crazier, right? There's a saying, right? Having a resentment is drinking poison and hoping the other person feels it. And so that's what's going to happen, is you are going to be on replay in your head, and then they're not even thinking of you, and you're just sitting in your own chaos, right? Then I want to manifest calmness. Well, it sounds like that last manifestation, the calmness of anxiety, actually has a lot to do with the first two, right? So it's almost like, right, so if I were to really break this down and relay it back to the worksheet, right, because you're going to see the worksheet's very connected. So, right, what's the overall goal? I want to regulate my anxiety. I want to calm myself down. I feel really I want to take out my overwhelming schedule. I want to let go of what people think about me. I don't want to have a fear of failure in my job, right? So it's almost right, that would be the overall goal. The overall goal there is to feel serenity, to relieve myself of my anxiety, and have peace and tranquility in every aspect of my life. That's it. It's actually way more simple when you see that, oh my God, all the things I'm working on are connected to this one thing, right? So really, the feeling that would come out of that, the emotion would be serenity, right? What does serenity look like to you? And maybe in this case, it would be serenity of, right? Serenity might be the freedom to accept the things I cannot change, right? We can't change what people think about us. We can't change what people say about us. We can't change our work situation. We can't change the control. We can't change, certain aspects, right? But we can change, reactions. We can change thoughts and obsessions, and, understanding that there is a big difference, between those two. But then also too, serenity might be not overthinking, right? So I really want you to sit there, want you to pull that out, write what the emotion is, what the desire is, and then really explain to yourself what it is. And then you would step into it as divine order, place yourself in my work, right? Work, relationships. Let's see. Yeah, so it would be relationships, right? Think of what others think. Work. And then also, my schedule. Divine order, can you please place yourself in these three areas to show me serenity? That's how the workshop and your fears are connected. That's why I wanted you guys to send them to me. So then, all right, let's move to the next, because it's fun. You guys all have very similar things. So the next one is, I want to let go of uncertainty, financial fear, and I want to manifest what I'm supposed to be doing in this lifetime, what my dharma is, right? So the first one, if you actually look at all three: uncertainty, financial fear, and being in your life's purpose, that's fear of the unknown. That just is. Financial fear comes from fear of the unknown, when you don't know if you're going to be okay, right? And financial fear is one of the hardest to overcome. There's some really good books that relay the message there, and I can recommend those books, but at the end of the day, the financial fear aspect really comes from this idea we're not okay, right? Or that, and the thing is, if you can't manage a financial fear one when you have nothing, you won't be able to manage it when you have everything. That I can promise you. So if you feel like you're stuck, it's because the universe is trying to push you to get over that financial fear. So, right, and then, right, uncertainty and financial fear really go into life's purpose. So when you don't know, right, so you want to be in your soul's purpose, right? And I think it's actually really beautifully that there's uncertainty there. If you told me I'd be doing what I do now, I would have called you a liar. I would never have believed you. This is not what I had expected, right? So going back to the worksheet, right? Overall, what's your goal? I want to be living in my purpose, not having any financial fear, not living, fear of the unknown, actually loving the uncertainty and the lack of control, and just going within the way of the universe and right? What is the emotion you would get there? Probably calmness, maybe serenity again, whatever it is. Now, what is that emotion for you, right? Really sit there with yourself. For me, to be in my soul's purpose, to not have, financial insecurity, to not have fear of the unknown, that's freedom, right? To me, that's freedom. It might be very different for you. I think for me, it would be liberation, right? What is liberation? It is not being attached to my external world, right? So then divine order, can you please place yourself, it could be into my life, right, in general. Can you please place yourself into my everyday life to show me what liberation of the external world feels like, right? Or, divine order, can you place yourself into my soul's purpose to show me, what soul purpose is, whatever it is, right? So there's that one, right? So you should, hopefully by now you're starting to see, like, when you're writing out 3 fears, the reason I have you guys do 3 is because you guys end up like having like one big fear, right? Next one, let go of not being good enough, all aspects, financially, love, work, giving, fear of failure, manifesting love, financial freedom, abundance, success, a beautiful garden. Okay. So it's a lot of things we're manifesting, right? Not being good enough, the self-worth one, I'm telling you right now, if you want to struggle with financials and you struggle with love and you struggle with work and being a people pleaser and giving, it's self-worth. That is it's a codependency on your self-worth, right? And then the fear of failure, right? The reason that we have no self-worth is because we're in fear that we're not good enough and we're in fear of failure, right? Manifesting love, financial freedom, abundance, success, all of those are going to all be linked in this. I have, financial issues because I don't feel, I have a fear of failure. I have a fear of not being good enough, and the same thing goes with love. Like here's the thing. If you sit there and you manifest and you meditate and you're like, I deserve everything, and then you go out into the world and you don't echo it, the universe is watching that. So, right, what would it feel like if you let go of not being good enough, of, not having all, it not being good enough within finance, love, work, giving, letting go of the fear of failure, right? What would it feel like manifesting love, financial freedom, abundance? What would that feel like? To me, again, there's just freedom and liberation. For me, that's what relates to me, but it could be very different, right? Maybe you would feel complete, or maybe you would feel whole. Right? Because that's really what it was. We think when we get the job or when we get the money or when we get the partner or whatever it is, we're going to feel whole. We're going to feel complete. We feel broken right now. And so what would it feel like? Again, you're from your future self. Like, as if you already have the job, you have the financial freedom, you have all those things. Write to your future self. Then really sit there. Divine order. Place yourself in my love life, in my finances, in my people pleasing, my fear of failure, all these things. Show up so that I can feel, right? I said liberation, but maybe it's that you're feeling whole. Next one, fear of failing, fear of not making enough money, and fear of losing my amazing staff I have because I'm disappointing them. All of that is fear of failure, not being good enough. So actually the one we just read before, it is literally the same thing. It's the same thing. So hopefully by now you guys see the pattern. And it's much easier to make your goals that way, right? Because a lot of times we're like, well, we just want the business to succeed. Why? Why is it that you want the business to succeed? And it's a really big difference when you choose reasons not for the ego, but really for your soul's purpose. And so your only goal is, and I can resend you guys your fears that you resent me so you can see them. I want you to pull up your fears. I'm going to send you guys a workshop to do. Sound frequency music, really, I don't want you guys just to be push it all in. No. I want you really to sit here and practice this. So really sit here, dive in. What are my intentions? Opening up and kind of diving really deep into that. Okay. Workshop, relate it back to your fears. And then I really want you guys to write your goals. Okay. We're ending, right? Think about how quick 10 weeks went. Think about how quick the rest of the program's going to go. So I really want you guys to sit here and really make the intentions of what the goals are. And maybe these goals are very simple and maybe they're very complex. Put the end dates. And I'm saying that because if you don't put end dates, you're just going to keep procrastinating on it. Most likely they're all in progress because you guys have all worked on it. Again, if you guys have questions on the workshop, please don't hesitate. I really love doing this with people. And so there is that, okay? What a freaking full moon last week. What a freaking eclipse season. And now we're entering into Mercury retrograde. So it's going to bring up a lot of things, right? So triggers. What I'm going to do this week is send you guys meditation and yoga flow, because I want you guys to kind of get into this connection of mind, body, spirit, where it's I want you guys to have the meditation of, right, first you all have to do this before I give you the meditation. Okay, everybody. I want you to do this first because then you're going to step into the meditation much differently. And then I want you to do the yoga practice because I want you to feel that sensation into your body. Okay? So only homework is your workshop, relate it back to your fears, give me your goals, yoga meditation. That's it. Okay? So have a beautiful week. I know this one is longer, but I'm really excited. 2. Woo! Right on the clock. I'm really excited to see you guys do this workshop because some of the times it's so crazy. The one thing that I see people do is you guys realize you already have it, right? So the one that was already have is, she wanted to talk to her boss to make a plan of action, I said, why don't you just do it? And she's like, no, I can't. I said, why? You have the boss. You have a mouth. It works. You know your intention. Go do it, right? Go do it. Or her soul purpose one. At first it was, not limiting the self to fit in surroundings, limiting authenticity. And I was like, well, it sounds like you're kind of already doing that. So what's more? And then that's when the soul purpose came. So with that being said, make these things intentional. I'm really excited for your week 10. March into April is going to be a really beautiful month. April really is astrologically the new year, so we celebrate New Year in January, but truth is it's actually it's in April. So you're going to enter into a really new, beautiful phase. So I'm so excited as always. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud for the gain that you've had over any gap that you feel.